Good evening, viewers and listeners from all over the world. We welcome you to our weekly program, News Review, a program where we look at the news headlines and the stories that made the headlines on Change Radio News all throughout the week. There we were listening to Simbareva Micharuona by our very own Mr. Paul Mazzori. And indeed, we continue with that trend, that Simbareva Micharuona. Micharuona against corruption, Micharuona against kunyeperwa. And here at Change Radio, we continue to bring you information and news. Welcome you tinokutambirai tinokugashirai kwese kwese kumativi enyika kwamuri mamuka sei maswera sei. Tinokushingamidzai muchirongwa chedu chanhasi chenews review. Tichange tiri nemi tichifamba nemi paChange Radio paZim I, kufacebook zvese nekuyoutube. Welcome. We've got a whole panel today. I'm going to ask them to welcome you as well, our listeners and viewers. We'll start with Leader Barbara.
Yes, thank you so much, Comrade Sophie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Zimbabwe, from wherever you are. Mamka say, Masera say, Murie Zimbabwe. Lingabe litona njani mfakazi omuhle emagumbini amane wonke omhlaba. Yebo, sesiphendukile njalo news review time, isikhathi sethu sokuthi sicubungule indaba phela ebezitshisa iviki yonke kusukusela ngesonto ephelileyo kuze kube izolo. So sesibuyile, hlalani lilalele indaba ezitshisayo. Ngiyabonga.
Chief, are you ready to welcome our viewers and listeners?
Ever ready. Magadi Muria Zimbabwe, Sanbonan. Thank you so much for joining. As you are seeing today, we have done news review on a Saturday. News review is usually done on Sundays, but we have a very important program that is going on tomorrow. Of course, it won't be live, but it's a program for Zimbabweans that will help some Zimbabweans. The Morgan Tsvangirai School of Ideology, if you have ever heard about it, the MT School of Ideology. I know some people have heard about the Herbert Chitepo School of Ideology. The MDC Alliance also have its own School of Ideology, and it's currently having workshops in Harare, in Bulawayo, and tomorrow they'll be having a very powerful training of the trainers workshop virtually, and it will be done tomorrow. And it will cover, I think, take most of the time that we usually have news review. And the answer, we are doing it today. But anyway, so we'll just do it today and then we'll move on. Thank you so much, Leader Sophia.
Thank you so much, Chief. Thank you. Leader Professor DJ Prof, would you like to welcome the viewers and listeners?
Thank you very much. Am I loud and clear?
Yes.
Thank you. Let me start by saying welcome to Change Radio News Review on all our social medias. Tangani kuti makadini salibonani dumelang uhanditi na madekwana ni Professor Mapendere, that's my name. Ndinokuchimangamidzai pachirongwa News Review tichikupai zvese zvakachitika svondo rese kusvika nhasi uno zviri kuitika munyika yeZimbabwe kunyanya tichikupai zvose zvinoitika pasi rose. Thank you very much. Back to you, DJ Sophie.
Thank you so much, DJ Prof. And finally, Leader Estella, Would you like to welcome our viewers and listeners all over the world?
Yes, thank you so much, Leader Sophie, and a warm welcome to you all, our viewers and listeners from across the globe, regardless of where you're joining us from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Um, Today we have a very interesting lineup of topics to review with you. But before I hand back to Leader Sophia, I would just like to take a few moments to greet our viewers and listeners, the first four who have posted comments. We have Anna Musananguro Mbaiwa says change radio ndikoko. Henry Musikavanu says tinombozunzika zvedu asi tiri tose. Providence Mutize says, "Good evening, Change Radio." And our very own DJ Man Franco Repricha is once again in the audience supporting us. Warm welcome to the program, Man Franco. Great program going on is what he's saying. And without wasting much more of your time, I'll hand you back over to Leader Sophie.
Thank you very much, Leader Estella. And without wasting much of our time, we'll go straight into it. The topics that we'll be looking at today, we'll be talking about the Zimbabwe deportations that recently happened. We'll be talking about MyTT and Madam Boss and the ZANU-PF links. We'll be talking about the Rolls-Royce and the Deputy Minister's £700,000 fiasco. We'll be looking at Makomborero Aruziwishe's bid for freedom. We'll talk about the ZERC, Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, failing to provide audited accounts. We'll be looking at Tagwirei, Kudakwashi Tagwirei, and how he was placed on the travel ban list and his assets were frozen in the UK. And we'll also be looking at the COVID-19 news and updates around the world and in our country in Zimbabwe. But before we go into the topics, as is customary on Change News Review, we would like to remind all Zimbabweans to please register to vote. Remember to register to go and register to vote. There's a toll-free number, a free phone number that you can phone to get more information about where you can register and what you need to bring when you go and register. That number, I don't know if our admin in the background can flight that number to phone. There it is, 08080219. Okay, let's get straight into it. Leader Barbara, can you take us through our first topic, the deportations?
Yes. Thank you so much, Sophie. Our first story being the deportations of the 14 Zimbabweans that were deported on the 21st of July. We saw them. I think we all saw the videos. We saw the reactions, the people's reactions, how people were reacting. Some people were laughing. We are also seeing the skits being done, of which me personally, I don't think it's fair. They are our people. They are Zimbabweans. You know, we are all sinners. I've always said, leaders of equity, we are all sinners, as Jesus said. We know some of these people, they've got records, criminal records in the UK, and we know some of them, they served their terms in jail, and I know prisons, they are there to correct people, and of which I believe they've been corrected. Yes, they did what they did, which is a crime, but we are saying we are people, we are Zimbabweans, and how they were deported, that's the most disheartening thing, part leaders, Estella, leaders of, to say, these people had families. They were just taken without notification. They were taken to the camps, the holding camps, where they were put there before they were deported, and they left everything that they had. They did not carry anything. I think we also Machangani bags that they had, and we also saw Ruben Barwe mocking them, singing that popular song Apiri Anabwera Anachoka, which was very inhumane in our culture. We don't We don't despise each other. We don't laugh at each other, no matter how, no matter what they've done. We are also saying to Zimbabweans, we don't have to judge, because I know the only person who can judge these people is God. What we need to do is just to accept them back into the society. As Zimbabweans, we need to support them. And I think also the government is going to rehabilitate these people. I understand the government of Zimbabwe was given money to rehabilitate these people, and we want to see, I think we need to make a follow-up of these people, because kana vakasa rehabilitated, you know, they will be they will be casted in the society. People will not incorporate them. But if the government takes that initiative to rehabilitate them, I think we all saw that video, the one that was done by is it Mashanike? Is it Mashanike? I've forgotten the surname. Who was admitting that yes, I made that. And he was also apologizing kuti ndikukumbira ruregerere kumhuri yeZimbabwe. So kana munhu adaro, isusu, who are we to continue judging these people, to continue castigating these people? And we have to be with their families. We should be in solidarity with their families. And if they saved their term here, I think kana kuri kunzi Britain yakavapa mutongo, vakapiwa mutongo wavo vakaseva. So now it's up to Zimbabwean government to make sure that these people, they fit into the society. And although we are told that there are some people who are not criminals, their crime is only that kutawana paper. I don't really, we have to find out as Change Radio the correct position that is on the ground. Yes, abathandekayo sikhuluma ngabantu laba ama-deportations, abantu abadipotwayo from the UK, ama-Zimbabweans adipotwayo e-UK bebasa eZimbabwe ngomhla ka-22 July. We are saying sithi abantu laba bengabe balamacala abayenzayo bese-UK, kodwa sithi phela nxa sebebuyile ekhaya asibamukeleni. Kuyafanana lezihlobo zethu eZimbabwe nxa zingahamba ejele zingaphenduka, handi siyazamukela. Ijele thina siyazi iyindawo lapho okulungisa khona abantu ababe bewonile. So nxa sebephumile asisabathathi njengezigangi, asisabathathi, sesibathatha njengabantu labana asebereformile, sesibathatha njengabantu labana asebemele babuye emphakathini basebenzele lezimuli zabo. Yebo kubuhlungu ngoba abanye bakhona batshiya izimuli ngapha e-UK. Asicabangeni ngemuli lezi ezitshiweyo ukuthi zizwa njani, abantwana abatshiweyo, abafazi abatshiweyo, ukuthi bazwa njani. Lanxa thina singaze sebathathe njengezigangi, kodwa phela balemuli zabo ade bebathatha ukuthi lo ngubaba. So nxa ubaba esengasekho, sonke siyakwazi ukuthi kuyini okwenzakalayo. So we sympathize with these Zimbabweans. And inini, my cry is the Zimbabwean government must take care of these people. They must see to it that these people, they are brought into the society, they are given counseling, they are rehabilitated, because we know that they were given money. And if they were given money, they should use that money. Wasaba sezvarukuita mari dzeCOVID. I think I'm done on that one. Maybe kana paina roda kuedzera vanokwanisa kuti vavaedzera. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leader Barbara. I think there's a video, before we go on to the next contributor, there's a video that has to do with those deportations. I don't know if we can have that, admin, if we can have that before we go on to the next contributor.
Zimbabwe has received a first batch of dozens of its citizens being deported from Britain after staying in that country for decades and forced to leave families behind to face an uncertain future back home. Right group and politicians in Britain had mounted pressure to stop deportations, arguing that the deportees are at the risk of persecution in Zimbabwe.
of the reasons why our deportation system is so brutal, so crushing, so inhumane is that it really rides roughshod over family rights. Detention Action supported a number of people who were meant to be on this flight, whose entire family lives in the UK, you know, mum, dad, grandparents, children, partner, wife, and who have no remaining family in Zimbabwe, or only very distant family members who have not lived in Zimbabwe for several decades. So these sorts of flights really tear communities apart.
Distraught relatives waited outside the Harare airport Thursday, but were not able to meet with the deportees. They were quickly put into waiting buses to go into a quarantine center to stay there for 10 days before joining their families.
It's a pain in my heart just because it's somebody. It's my breadwinner. It's my breadwinner.
The United Kingdom says it has right to deport foreigners who committed serious crimes after they served out their sentences. Zimbabwean authorities dismiss fears that the returnees would be persecuted.
There we have it. I think, Chief, you wanted to come in with something to say about the deportations as well.
Yes, just to add on to what Leader Barbara said, you know, it's said that we are having our fellow Zimbabweans are being deported. We, as the MDC Alliance, we stand with the people of Zimbabwe, and we deplore what the UK government is doing. It's unfair. As Vice President Tendai Biti said yesterday, that they cannot be deporting people back to a country where there is so many and so much human rights abuses. The international law doesn't allow that. But the bad thing here is we are having the British government and the Zimbabwean government working together. We know that the two governments sat together and they had their secret meetings and secret agreements that they are going to deport Zimbabweans. So we see here a government that is destroying people's livelihoods in Zimbabwe, destroying tax shops, destroying businesses. You saw what they did, the mayhem that they caused in Chitungwiza and Mbare. You know, they don't care about the people of Zimbabwe. Now they are going to the people in the diaspora to make sure that the people in the diaspora don't have any livelihood. That's what dictators do. That's the nature of dictators. They want to impoverish people. They want to make people poor so that when they begin to give their crumbs, their breadcrumbs, or anything minor and small that they give to the people will be very grateful. In short, kuti vanenge vakutombera nemazino kuti tapiwa nehurumende. That's what dictators do. They make you very poor, you know, so that when they give you, you know, a small piece of land or just something little, you'll be so grateful, you know. So we are seeing the government again coming to the Zimbabweans in the diaspora and destroying, you know, the only people that are keeping Zimbabwe going right now. And to prove that this was planned, you see, Ruben Barwe was right at the airport, and there was no other reporter. I can confirm with you right now that I spoke to reporters in Zimbabwe. I have so many friends who are reporters in Zimbabwe. They told me that they were chased away from the airport. They wanted to report on this case, but they were chased away. Why did the government do that? And they only allowed Ruben Barwe, a state media reporter. That just shows you that there are a lot of conspiracies. There's a lot that is going on between the British government and the Zimbabwean government. And that's very unfortunate. But the good thing about it is that we are here as ZimEye, as Change Radio, as Zimbabweans, to tell Zimbabweans the truth, to reveal to Zimbabweans that what is going on in Britain right now, there is a hand of ZANU-PF behind it. It's ZANU-PF that is making Zimbabweans suffer both home and away. And this is just an awareness. We are being told the information we have is they are going to come to the United States of America. They are going to do it in Europe. They are going to do it in South Africa. They're just trying to paint a picture that Zimbabwe is okay. We can take care of our problem. We can take care of our people. But that's not true. They're failing to take care of the Zimbabweans that are already there. Why do they want everyone back there in Zimbabwe? So Zimbabweans, let's unite. Let's stand with the people that are being deported. I want to take this opportunity to thank the lawyers in the United Kingdom, the Zimbabweans in the United Kingdom, and the MDC Alliance. I saw a statement from the MDC Alliance, UK and Ireland, Mr. Chambruga, that they were working overboard to make sure that those Zimbabweans that they can help, they help them. And I'm convinced that the 150 people that were initially supposed to be deported were not, were not deported. I think only about 14 or 15 ended up being deported. But we condemn that as well, and we condemn any plan to deport more Zimbabweans. Thank you.
Yeah.
Indeed,
It's
that
true.
is very true. Yes, please, DJ Prof.
I just wanted to add on what Chief has said concerning the plan on airing or on ZBC airing of Ruben Maro and stuff, and to a shock of my life that I got, the ZANU-PF got the DNA of lying. It's running in their DNA. When one Nikki Mangwana was asked by one of the journalists to say, Mr. Mangwana, you said that we are not allowed as journalists to come to the airport, but we saw Ruben Barwe airing it live at the interviewing the deportees. What's happened? Mangwana, like to the public, he said, no, he doesn't know that Ruben Barwe was there. Never, that Ruben Barwe was not at the airport. And he is not there to comment on that because he never saw Ruben Barwe. He's the Minister of Information, for Christ's sake. How can your office go to airport and doesn't know that he's at the airport? So I'm saying Nikki Mangwana actually was lying to the people of Zimbabwe and to the rest of the world that Ruben Barwe was not there, where everyone who is acquainted to social media saw that Ruben Barwe was interviewing people, mocking people on top of that. At that international airport. Thank you.
Absolutely, DJ. That is so true. But these are the people that we are led by, who are illegitimately leading us. And these are the people that we need to unite against the citizens' convergence for change, so that they can see Simbarewanu, that people have had enough, people do not want anymore. We are sick and tired of being lied to. And really to go and make fun of people who are possibly at their lowest point in their lives, that is just, inhuman. Ajna Wunu. There's a lack of Ubuntu there on the part of those people. But anyway, let's continue with our program. Chief, can you take us through the Mighty T and Madam Boss fiasco? What is going on there? Would you care to explain?
Yeah, it's said. I know a lot of people have criticized Simba. I don't know why we are not live on Zimai now. I thought we were supposed to be on Zimai. I'm not seeing any notification from Zimai here. But I've seen a lot of people criticizing Simba when he attacks the likes of Mighty T, Tyra, the likes of Java, the so-called Apostle Java. But I think one day people are going to see what he will be trying to do. This ZANU-PF is a strategy, and we are all seeing it. And it's very unfortunate that we have socialists that are gullible. We have prominent people in Zimbabwe that are gullible, that are allowing themselves to be used by ZANU-PF against the people, against the wishes of the people, and to be used to propagate a government that has destroyed Zimbabwe, a government that is abusing people's rights, willy-nilly, left, right, and center every day. You'd think someone like Mighty T, you'd think someone like Tyra would, side with the people, who stand with the people of Zimbabwe, and a lot of other celebrities have been approached by ZANU-PF, and they are all just taking whatever ZANU-PF is giving to them, hook, line, and singer. And it's very unfortunate. We are seeing these two socialists being used by ZANU-PF, and even some people are even going on to say that every time when they are going out of the country, they are being used to smuggle diamonds, to smuggle gold and other things. And you can't rule that out because this is a government that does that on a daily basis. We saw Henrietta Rushwaya, a senior member in ZANU-PF, being arrested at the international airport, smuggling out diamonds and gold. And now they know that that route has been closed. They're now using celebrities. They're now using socialists to do the same thing. Because I don't understand. You make the connection. You put the dots. We have Java, who is buying these young people, Mercedes-Benz. Can he afford it? Maybe he can. But this is the same so-called apostle whose mother died living in Chitungwiza. We know Java's mother. He was our member as MDC Alliance. He was, part of us. We know how she was living. We know that she wasn't that well off. We know that she wasn't getting everything that she wanted. As someone who has a son who has millions or who claims to have millions, as someone who has a son who can afford to buy a stranger, a Mercedes-Benz. I mean, who does that? Who does that? So we are seeing here that it's not even his money. According to our sources, it's not even his money. These people carried diamonds. They carried diamonds allegedly. Let me use the word allegedly. They allegedly carried diamonds, allegedly carried gold outside the country. And then when they come back, they're being paid. And we see them parading with Mercedes-Benz. It's very unfortunate. Mazimbabweans ngativhurei maziso. I know kuti vanhu vanenge vachiuya vachituka vachitaura kuti we are being jealous against people like Maititi. But let's open our eyes. The Zimbabwean government is approaching everyone. You can see that young soccer player in the United Kingdom and many other socialists, many other social media celebrities are being used by ZANU-PF. We are seeing it every day. This is Mnangagwa who is just trying to tell the people that he is popular, but he is not popular. And that's not going to help him because fortunately, Zimbabweans know what's going on and will continue to talk about these things.
Indeed, it's not going to help him at all because as Zimbabweans, we now know what is going on. We now know fully what Mnangagwa and this illegitimate government are all about and what they are up to. And we now know, as we know about the Rolls Royce as well, that the deputy minister allegedly went and bought, I think, £770,000 that Rolls Royce was worth. Chief, would you like to take us through that again?
Yeah, I mean that was $770,000 US dollars, and this is a deputy minister who is coming from a government that is claiming that it's failing to develop the Zimbabwean economy because there is no foreign currency. Because there are sanctions against it. Sanctions only come when it comes to buying ambulances. Sanctions only come when it comes to buying medication, when it comes to buying things that matter to Zimbabweans. But when it comes to buying luxury cars, we have seen ministers, deputy ministers, ZANU-PF officials buying Lamborghinis, buying Rolls-Royce. We want to know where that, got that 770,000. We don't care whether it's his money because he has said that it's his money. But we want to know how he was allocated that foreign currency to go and buy such an expensive car outside the country, because we gotta have priorities. If it is a government of the people, by the people, it must have priorities. It can't allocate the much needed foreign currency, scarce foreign currency, to a person who wants to go and buy a luxury good. When people are dying, Zimbabweans are dropping dead, in the streets every day because we don't have enough hospitals, we don't have enough medication, but the government is availing foreign currency to someone who wants to go and buy a $770,000 car. It doesn't make sense. I know he has come out defending himself, saying that he worked for his money. It's his money. It's his money yet. But how does he get allocated so much foreign currency in Zimbabwe to go and buy that car? Because we know for sure that he doesn't have a business in the United Kingdom. So he could not have generated that foreign currency in the United Kingdom. And I know the United Kingdom itself is interested in finding out where he got that foreign currency and how he got the money in the country. And as Zimbabweans, we should put pressure on the UK government to start an investigation. Yes, we'll continue to put pressure on our own government so that they start an investigation on Tino, but we know how that ends. It's called catch and release. They just investigate him, and after a few months or weeks, it dies down. Nobody talks about it. But we demand an inquiry so that we know how this deal was done, and we also want to see transparency. We want to see if Tino is going to pay the 250,000 duty that he's supposed to pay if everything is done according to the law. He's supposed to pay 250,000 US dollars in duty. But we know that these ZANU-PF cronies, they never pay any duty. But we as citizens, we as Zimbabweans, we need to demand, we need to make noise until we see that $250,000 duty being paid when that Rolls Royce lands in Zimbabwe. And we are not going to leave this issue as Change Radio, as ZimEye, and as a citizen. We should continue to demand answers from Tino, from the government, and from even the UK government, so that they also carry out their part of the investigation. These are people that are derailing our development, our emancipation as Zimbabweans economically, because they're taking the little that we have in the country and using it for themselves. So we can't keep quiet.
No,
Yes.
we will not keep quiet. We cannot afford to keep.
Yeah, I don't think. Thank you very much, Chief. I think for clarifying all the issues out, and really it boggles any normal human being's mind that tine nyika ino-operata ne-constitution and nyika ine mtemo. You find out someone, Tino is just 39 years old. He is externalizing, we don't know how much, but now the one that we know is 770,000 US dollars. Muvunzo what, which bank rakampa Mario? If it Reserve Bank, then again the question comes, my pensioners, they can't get their money. Kubva ATM machine, kutanotora $50, unonzitora kana kuti this amount per day. Umwe munhu do pari kunzi nehurumende, because is in the party iri very corrupt, ari kunzi aendese 770,000 close to $1 million US dollars outside the country kunotenga mota. How much money yasara munyika? The situation yekuti we have people who are richer than the country. Where are they getting that money? And we have also rumors. I don't want to put it as a fact, but we have the rumor that this Tino is also related to the one chief corruptionist, Kudata Gure, in the country. And ZANU-PF are coming through and defending that. No, we must see, if you see a progressive black person, now they put racial into it so that you feel if it's one of ours, it's not a problem. Corruption is corruption, whether you're black, pink, purple, white, blue. Corruption is corruption, whether it comes from whoever. It's a black person, a prosperous black person. We are not against people who are prosperous black people. One, the first point that we are against is that Tino is a public officer. So we demand as the public, as the people of Zimbabwe, to know, where did he get that money from? Who gave him that right? Which channels did he use to take that money out of Zimbabwe? And the question is, again, the other question is, do we have that such type of money in Zimbabwe? When people can't afford to get money on the ATM, when people can't afford to get money even for transport, when now Reserve Bank is still printing the highest note in the country is $50 that cannot even buy a loaf of bread. But we've got people with foreign currency that we are saying we do not have foreign currency in Zimbabwe. When we say people buy the ambulance for clinics, and we demand for teachers and doctors to be paid in foreign currency, they said we don't have foreign currency in Zimbabwe. Tell me how many doctors and how many teachers and how many civil servants in general were going to be paid by the $1 million US per month. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is a sad state of affairs happening in our country. And it's very unfortunate. You bring up the cronyism going on around there, that you have to be in the inner circle to benefit from their corrupt activities. Someone actually pointed out when the deportation was going on that, that the person who actually was chief negotiating with on these deportations is actually a close relative of Auxilia Mnangagwa. So, we've got these people who are messing up our lives, messing up the future, and actually making it worse, South Paronda, and making things worse for us Zimbabweans. They really don't care about us, and it looks like they will not stop at anything to make our lives as Zimbabweans even more, terrible than they are right now. So, and also messing up the future, the youths. DJ Prof, can you take us through Makomborero Azuru Zivishe's bid for freedom?
So thank you very much, leader, for that. Yes. So let me start by saying I'm not going to be a spokesperson of the Youth Assembly, but I'm one of the Youth Assembly. So as Youth Assembly of MDC Alliance, we still believe, and we still have that belief kuti Makomborero is being incarcerated for the crime that he did not commit. But however, the update is that Makomborero has been removed from prison. Makomborero is now in a remand. The situation is that Paaka Sungwa, I think he had other cases zakanga dziri pending court. So the case yakasungirwa yakanga atongerwa mutongo wacho yakazonzi ngaidzoke kukoti zvakare achibva apiwa bail yekesi iyoyo ndo yakazoita kuti adzoke. Aifanirwa kunge akabuda if it was that one case, but inyaya yekuti akanga ari kunzi. Basically, we still believe that those cases are manufactured. Sorry. So Arikunzi is going to be in remand. We are still awaiting for the court date for the current case yakaita kuti apinde avarirwe muchitokisi. We haven't get that court date yet, but we are sure that he is going to get to court and get his justice done. I think this, in short, that's where it is with Makomborero Ngaruzivise story for now.
Leader Barbara, if Leader Barbara is still there, I think there's a bit of contribution as well that you had on Makomborero's issue.
Oh, yes, thank you so much, Leader Sophie. We continue giving solidarity to Makomborero, and we are happy that he's receiving a lot of support from the MDC Alliance, also from the civil society. We are happy that he is not alone. We also saw our Secretary for Welfare, Comrade Maureen Kademaunga, joining hands with family, waiting to see Mako in remand. And Mako's spirit remains high. He was in high spirits, and he continues he vows to fight for democracy, to fight for a new Zimbabwe. He yearns for a Zimbabwe that is free from corruption, a Zimbabwe that will give youth jobs. As you all know that the Mnangagwa regime is totally failed. So Mako is still saying kuti iye aluta continua, and we would want to applaud Mako for his bravery. Dai vari vamwe so vakutobvunda kana kutaura vasingasatauri, but we see a revolutionary in the name of Magomborero Aruziwishe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, leaders, for that really, wonderful and honest review and honest, salutation to one of the youth leaders in this struggle. And fighting against corruption, a corrupt regime, an illegitimate government, where we have Kudakwa Chetagbire again making the news, the headlines this week, by being placed on sanctions list by the UK. He's on a travel ban. His assets have been frozen in the UK and in the US. But in the UK, 5 individuals. And for him to feature on that list, because we've got people from Venezuela, from Iraq, from Equatorial Guinea, Teodoro Obiang's son, very corrupt individual. This is, must mean this guy is very bad. He's a bad news brown to be featuring amongst, those 5 people from Venezuela. These are the countries that that they are very corrupt and anti-people. So, the same guy, remember the Zupco fiasco as well, where he provided Zupco buses to the Zimbabwe government and he made a profit. I think he sold over 170 buses and each bus made a profit of over 150,000 US dollars. But then, investigations later on revealed that each bus actually cost about $58,000. So he made a profit of over 150,000 US dollars per bus, and each bus was costing $58,000. So, really, this guy is bad news. Something about him, but he doesn't seem to be remorseful. He seems to just, wanting to keep on going on with his corrupt activities. Anyone can, the leaders in the forum, anyone who would want to continue on that or just put in their 2 cents on Kudakwa Chetagbire.
Yeah. He's Queen Bee. That's his name, and they call him that for a reason. This man is everywhere. He is controlling every segment of the Zimbabwean economy. He wins every major contractor that the government of Zimbabwe is offering. You go to medicals, you go to pharmacies, you go to command agriculture, you go to oil and gas, you go to buses, transport, roads, everywhere. He is there. Is he the only able Zimbabwean? That's the question you will be asking yourself. Is he the only able business person in Zimbabwe? If you look at it, you see that he does that because he is just part of the system. He is the front of the big people. He's being used by people like Emmerson Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. Those are the people that are on everything that he has. So Zimbabwe is being corrupted. Zimbabwe is losing billions to the people that are supposed to be leading it. Emmerson Mnangagwa and most of the top ZANU-PF officials, they work hand in glove with Tagbire. That's the story behind all this. It's not even Tagbire on his own. Even the president, the so-called president of the country, is involved. He gets kickbacks. They're working together. These are people that have derailed the economic development of Zimbabwe and are harming the Zimbabwean economy, and consequently they are harming the Zimbabwean people through corruption. We are where we are today because of corruption in Zimbabwe. The statistics say that we have lost $80 billion to date through corruption. If you put that into perspective, you see that it is possible to have those spaghetti roads that President Chamisa talks about, and everyone will be saying it's not possible to do that. How can it not be possible if you just take in the $1.6 billion that Tagbire misplaced and could not account for during the command agriculture? Nobody knows where that $1.6 billion went. Now you heard about the 100,000, 120,000 or 150,000 profit that he was getting per every bus. If you put in those millions, I'm telling you, they are enough to resuscitate our economy. So this corruption is the one that is killing Zimbabweans. And I want to applaud the British government, the American government. I don't care what Zimbabweans, ZANU-PF, particularly ZANU-PF people and ZANU-PF officials say, that we are applauding UK and America for imposing sanctions on these people. This is the only way of dealing with the crooks like Tagwire and Emerson Mnangagwa. The world can't watch while a whole nation is being impoverished, and a few people have millions in their pockets, have all the luxuries that they have. The world is not stupid. Emerson Mnangagwa thinks that he's hoodwinking the international community, is hoodwinking everyone. He can hoodwink some few ZANU-PF people, who are benefiting from the system, but he can't hoodwink Zimbabwean people. They know what's going on. And he can also hoodwink the international community. Britain have seen what's going on. America is seeing what's going on. And when that happens, they can't let, Zimbabweans continue to suffer while they watch. It's like you're seeing a neighbor killing his own children, killing his own wife, and then you just keep folding your arms. The world can't do that. They can't fold their arms while ZANU-PF continue to do what they are doing, continue to commit the crimes that they are doing against the Zimbabwean people. So we applaud the British government for doing what they have done, and they need to go further. I know here in America, they just passed a bill. That's one of the things that Biden did when he got into power, that they are going to be tough on governments that are corrupt, on individuals that are corrupt. They will no longer be dealing with them. Yeah, we want that to actually be put into action. If it means international law being brought in and people being prosecuted outside Zimbabwe for the criminals that they are committing against people that are suffering like Zimbabwean people, let it be, because the evidence of the corruption by Tagwire is there. He can be prosecuted and he needs to stop going out of the country. Kana achidya mari yake ngaaidye ari muZimbabwe imomo kana kuenda kuSouth Africa. But we have to find a way of prosecuting these people for the crimes that they are committing against the Zimbabwean people.
Absolutely. And futhi ayisi mari yake, imari yedu yaari kubachitya. So really, a stop must be. This must be stopped. And also going further, we're talking about it's blatant, it's obvious for everyone to see. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission as well, doing a shoddy job of failing to provide the accounts, the audited statements from 2018. Commentators and spectators have actually been saying that, remember the Excel gate after the elections where they were punching in figures at the command center, the electoral command center, and putting in the fake results, which have seen us with a fake president and a fake government. A lot of people were being paid there. So they were saying everything was in a shambles. There was no accountability, that even if you were to do an audit of what was going on, they didn't even cover their backs. They didn't even know what they were doing. They just knew that they were stealing. They had a mission to change the figures and the electoral numbers. But the forensics, they did not even cover them up properly. So which might be a problem now, that they cannot tie up the numbers to come up to what they should be to report them. And the Office of the Auditor General has castigated the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission for failing to provide their audited accounts and audited books from 2018 and 2019 as well. They have said there's been a gross maladministration and corruption within the body. And the next thing that should happen is that, the Electoral Resource Center, the ERC, is putting pressure on Parliament to summon the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission so that they can answer to Parliament and to the nation what is happening with these books and why they are failing to produce audited, even accounting, basic accounting of what is happening at the ZEC.
Yeah, you know what, leader? I'm thinking very far when you were talking about them failing to bring an account to what they were doing in 2018, 2019, 2020. You know, who else would expect that ZEC will bring anything that is accountable when they couldn't even account for 2018 election that were done on the daylight. They stated I don't know how many numbers of percentages that's their results, and how many disparities that were happening in constituency. You find out that the election, then the numbers of President Advocate Nelson Chamisa is given to Mnangagwa, and the number of Zinemu Nenzo are given to I don't think which one this one to Osaya Chipanga. You begin to wonder where are they trying to get these books from. They just need to disband that shameless and clueless group of people there. They don't know what they're doing there. Honestly speaking, leader, you know, it's a breaking news, but a breaking news of just for me, it's like it's an informing, or basically it's a reminding people of Zimbabwe to say, look at what the ZEC that you knew, what it does best. Because honestly speaking, if they could not account for the elections that were done by everyone worldwide looking at it, what about the account that is done by 2-3 people inside their offices? You know,
So we must actually be saying that if they cannot, have simple accounts in their offices, how can we then trust them to run a whole national election? How can we
definitely,
trust them to put, our future into their hands when they
exactly.
cannot even, have a simple accounting system in place?
Exactly. And they know they're untouchable. Do you know that? They know they're untouchable. Even if whoever Zesni is saying that they must go to parliament and account, their heartbeat is not even moving an inch.
No.
They know they are not going to do anything. They know if Priscilla Chigumba was not arrested for the pensioners man of the whole country, what about the ZEC of their accounts? They know
Yeah.
they're untouchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, this is the mess that we have to inherit as a government in waiting. And we have to clean it up, and we have to bring Zimbabwe back to the credibility that it had before, and to greater things as well. Yeah. Moving on to COVID-19 figures and news and updates. Yesterday, we know that these figures as well, they are cooked. They are not the true reflection of what is going on the ground. We know that these numbers are maybe times 5, times 6, what is actually being reported. Yesterday, there were 2,961 positive COVID-19 results. And of those, we had 91 deaths that were reported. So far, Zimbabwe has recorded about 96,000 positive coronavirus cases, and we have reported about 2,300 deaths from the start of the pandemic. But as usual at Change Radio, we encourage everyone, take precautions, guys, be safe, wear masks, wash hands, practice social distancing, get vaccinated. News coming in as well from the correctional services that about 14,000 prisoners and prison officials have been vaccinated against COVID-19. But we still have, it's a long battle that we have, with the theft going on of the funds that are supposed to come in and help ease the pandemic in the country. Leader Barbara, if you're still there, I don't know if you can take us through either on the shortage of the PPE or the funerals and the gatherings, or the vaccinations part of the COVID-19 pandemic in Zimbabwe.
Yes, thank you so much. The issue of this COVID-19, especially this Delta variant, it has caused untold suffering, untold stories in Zimbabwe. People are dying like flies, and those statistics that you've just mentioned, they are not the real statistics, because people are afraid to go to hospital. So most people are dying in their homes, Sophie. And I think those that are documented are the ones that have been hospitalized. It's pathetic. The situation is just bad, especially in Bulawayo. As I'm speaking now, my daughter is in isolation, tested positive, and you can think of any other people. People are lying down. Most people are isolating in their homes because they are scared to go to hospitals, because hospitals of late they've now been what you call those spreaders,
The super
the
spreaders.
hospitals, the super spreaders, the hospitals, even the funerals. I want to talk about the funerals. President Nelson Chamisa sent a message to say the COVID is real, especially this Delta variant. People should be very, very careful, and people should refrain from going to funerals. Let those that are close attend to funerals. The friends and maybe the distant relatives or the neighbors should refrain from going to funerals of people whom they know they've died of COVID, even if they don't know. So even munhu asina kufa COVID, what's happening ndezvokuti in the mortuaries, the bodies vane COVID nevasina vafa neCOVID nevasina kufa neCOVID vari kuiswa mumamortuaries mamwe chete. So think of that, you see. So it's very, very dangerous to say I will go because I know COVID. So people should be very, very careful. And I understand very soon only the undertakers will be burying the dead, because the situation is just not good. Yeah. So the issue of PPEs, it remains the cause for concern in hospital. Nurses still go to work without adequate PPEs, and we're also seeing the rise in nurses and doctors who are suffering from this, who have tested positive in this COVID-19. Like when I was talking to my daughter Sophie, she was not eating. She was saying, I don't have appetite. And then when they took it for X-rays, because she was coughing constantly, and so they thought it was pneumonia. And most people now, they are dying of pneumonia. Pneumonia has become one of the symptoms of this Delta variant. So when they took it to the doctor, and they told the doctor that she was not eating, you know what the doctor said? Kuti urikutoramba hako kudya, wabikirwa. Inini I've been isolating. Ndanga ndiri ndega ndiri one. I had COVID. I tested positive on COVID-19. I was alone in the house. There was no one to cook for me. Just think of that. You've got people that are cooking for you and you don't want to eat. From that day, my daughter started eating. Can you imagine? It's worse. There are so many doctors and nurses that have tested positive in this COVID-19 because of lack of adequate PPE. So people should just stay at home. People should wash their hands. People should not go to funerals. Yeah, we know our culture doesn't allow us, but now COVID is in a culture or no culture, people die.
Very true there, actually. And guys, this is serious. Let's be safe. Let's continue to take care of ourselves and take care of each other. This thing is real, and let's stop the spread. Let's stop the spread of COVID-19. Moving forward, I think that the last thing we have on our program today is condolences, where we salute those who have gone, who have been promoted to glory, and also just kungonyaradzana nevasara mama dzasara tichingoti nematambudziko. This week we are with the Tobaiwa families, the Madzore families, the Nyaira families, where we tichichema navo kushaya kwaAlderman Tobayiwa vanga vari deputy mayor of Kwekwe, baba our very own, one of our own, organizing secretary Harare, Henry Madzore, the father as well passed on, unfortunately. And then we had Sandra Nyaira, who was the independent, she was one of the early independent journalists in Zimbabwe, who passed on last week as well from COVID-19. We just say to all of them, Zororai Murugare, tinochema nehama dziri kuchemawo, tichiva tichema ine tariro. We are with you in thoughts and prayers.
Also, leader, we have our deputy SG, Comrade Honorable Shinanjawana, who also lost her dad. We say to all these cadres, may their souls rest in peace. Tinochema nawo sechange radio, tinochema nawo semhuri ye-MDC Alliance. Nezim I.
Yeah.
Okay, Chief, you had a word to...
Yeah, regai ningotione matambudziko kune vese vari kushaikirwa, kwete vatungamiriri chete. Kumagrupu medu matiri umu unongonzwa chinzi nematambudziko ningashaya, kumagrupu edu MDC, macommunity groups, kwese vanhu vari kushaya, vanhu vari kupera kuZimbabwe uku. Saka tinoti nematambudziko kune vese vari kushaikirwa. Tiri kuchema kudaro, regai tiyeuchidzane kuti ngatimbomirai nyaya dzekuenda kumarufu. Ndaitaura nana tete vangu kumusha uku, vachindidzaura ndikutobva kurufu kwasekuru Nhingi. Ndikati munopenga here imi? Shuwa muchiri kuenda kumarufu nanhasi. Ngatiregedzei pachishona tinoti kudyira muchepfura kana poison kunyara, nekuti tsika yedu inotaura kuti tinofanira kuvigana. Ngativiganei, asi ngatitaririseiwo zvakare njodzi iripo pakuvigana pacho. Hazvibatsire kuti tese tomhanya kunenge kuine chirwere chacho ikoko. Takaudzwa kare pakatanga COVID kuti COVID haifambe, vanhu ndo vanofamba nayo. Saka kwese kunenge kwafa munhu weCovid, zvinotoreva kuti chirwere ichocho chiri kuita sei? Chiri kupararira. Dambudziko racho raapo mazuva ano nderekuti vanhu vari kufa vari kuiswa mumamochari mamwe chete iwayo nevamwe vanenge vaine COVID nevanenge vasina. Saka zvinenge zvichingotapurirana ipapo. Saka kumarufu ndokuri kunyanya kuparadzirwa chirwere. Saka isu vari kuno kudiaspora nevari kuZimbabwe nevari kupi kwese kwese nevari muZimbabwe imomo, vanoverenga mapepa nevasingaverenge, vanoenda pazvivhitivhiti pasocial media nevasingaende, ngatitaurirei vanhu vari kumamisha, ana mbuya nanatete vedu umu, kuti vambomira kuenda kumarufu. Kana kurufu kuchendwa kuendwa nevanhu vashoma shoma, mumwe ari kokoko. Zvinhu zvatochinja. Zvekuimba, because paunoda kuti uimbe wakubvisa ngirikini, wakubvisa mask yako, ndo pazvinotangira ipapo. Pauri kuda kuti ubate maoko, uri kushandisa maoko ako iwayo. Asi zviri kutaurwa kunzi hatifanira kuita sei kunge tichidaro. Kazhinji kacho panenge pasina kana masipo dzekuti vanhu vazogeza. Saka inini ndiri kungotaurira hama dzangu dzekumusha kwangu kuti imbomirai kuenda kumarufu. Ngatibatanei maoko acho pamafoni nepai patinenge takwanisa kubatana ipapo. Kana kuti unozoenda vanhu vasina kuwanda, waungonobata maoko, pane kuti uende vanhu vakazara ipapo. Tese tikataurira hama dzedu, munoona kuti zvichabatsira. Nekuti tikasadaro, hama dzangu, tiri kupera. Manhamba atiri kunzwa achinzi kwakafa vanhu 56, kwakafa vanhu 60. Haasiriwo chaiwo. Ita nhamba iyoyo times 5. Ndo vanhu vari kufa kuZimbabwe ivavo. Saka tinopera, hatina kumbowanda kuZimbabwe. We are only less than 17 million. Tinopera pasina kana nguva yakadii. Saka ngatidzidzisanei zvakanaka. Tinotenda.
Tinotenda chokwadi nemashoko enyu, mashoko ane wisdom. Tichingoda kukurudzirana as well. Just remind each other kuti, guys, yes, you know what, this is real. Let's continue to be vigilant. Let's beat this. But right, thank you so much for being with us, Zimbabweans, and other nationalities. I know other nationalities are watching. Thank you so much for being with us on today's program. We thank those behind the scenes. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Leader Barbara. Thank you, Leader Estella and DJ Prof. Thank you so much for being with us. But before we go, a reminder to register and vote. Remember to register and vote. That toll-free number that you can phone to get information on where to go and what to bring when you're registering to vote, 08080219. The number again, 08080219. Remember, let's register and vote. Let's take this illegitimate government out. Thank you for being with us on Change Radio and ZimEye. Remember,
Vaudze kuti vadare vasaende ngavadzokere.
it's okay. Kune padare iri kuuya nechipsoshe. Hot program, very hot. It's okay. Kune padare daidzanai makawanda. Kune padare nachipsoshe iri kuuya.
Yes, leadership.
Thank you.
I was just about to tell them, especially the women, that they must stay. They must come back again. Toziva padare ichinyanya kudhila nevarume sereke hanzi padare varume ndo vanoenda padare. Nhasi padare pane madzimai. Nhasi padare tina a very powerful woman anonzi Stabile Dewa, uyo anotungamira boka rinonzi Women's Academy for Leadership and Political Excellence, kana kuti WALP in short. So please come back. It will be live on ZimEye, live on Change Radio, live on our Facebook page, live on our YouTube, live on YouTube, yes, ZimEye again. So you've got a choice to switch on to your favorite media channel. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Stay tuned on Change Radio and ZimEye. Thank you very much. We'll see you now on Padare with Chief Sosi. Good night.